And we're back. My next guest is a television host, CEO of the Planetary Society, and an official science guy. Please welcome Bill Nye. Standing ovation. Not everybody gets a standing ovation, Bill.
I heard about that.
Heard extraordinary.
Yes.
Well, nice to finally meet you.
I know, it's been years.
It sure has, it sure has. Let me ask you something. Science guy, did you just wake up one day and go, my last name rhymes with guy? Because you could have put anything in front of guy. You could have been the fashion guy, could have been the music guy, the napping guy, anything.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I was in a writer's meeting with Ross Schaefer. Do you know Ross Schaefer?
I don't know.
Yes. He was host of the Match Game, the new Match Game. He hosted a couple game shows. Anyway, he was the head writer of a comedy show in Seattle, Almost Live.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, sure.
And so we needed to fill like 6 minutes. I had this idea for the bit with liquid nitrogen, because we have liquid nitrogen around.
At a comedy show, you just have liquid nitrogen around?
So the bit was the household uses of liquid nitrogen.
Okay.
Which pays off when you chew the marshmallows and steam comes out of your nose. I'm not telling you anything. And so he said, you know, you could be like Bill Nye, the science guy. And I went, that's, oh my God. And then he closes up his briefcase and he takes off to do his radio show. It was a long time ago, you guys, but it stuck with me. But another story, there was a guy in San Francisco. How do you pronounce this guy's name? K-E-A-Y.
K-E-A-Y.
Key Davidson. And he started this column, Key Davidson, the science guy. Anyway, my attorney contacted him. One thing led to another. And I'm talking to the guy on the phone. I said, Mr. Davidson, besides, it doesn't rhyme. He said, oh, wow, that's very good. Oh, yeah. So I stuck with it, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Now, look, I'm a mechanical engineer.
I know, there's a lot of chatter on the internet that you're not Bill Nye the Science Guy, you're Bill Nye the engineering guy.
Okay, everybody, I'm a mechanical engineer. It's physics. For 4 years, it's physics. Okay, I'm sorry. I took 6 semesters of calculus. Is that enough? Is that enough?
Well, you're also the CEO of the Planetary Society, working on something called, which was founded by Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan. So when I was
working on light sailing. What is that?
That's right, yeah. So when I was in engineering school, you guys, I had completed my engineering requirements, so I took 1 class from Carl Sagan. My father was the amateur astronomer, and Carl Sagan talked about solar sailing back during the disco era. And so I joined the Planetary Society when it was started. One thing led to another. You know Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I do know Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You've met him. And so I don't know if you guys know this, but Neil is very into wine.
Yeah.
And there was a meeting of the board of directors, and something happened, and now I'm the CEO of the Planetary Society. So
because he got you very into wine?
It wasn't the Canadian gin, but things went fine. Anyway, so here's the premise. This is remarkable. Light, although it has no mass, has momentum. It's pure energy. So if you can get a spacecraft into space above the atmosphere, the pressure of sunlight pushes it through space. So the Planetary Society, this was one of Carl Sagan's dreams back in 1976. We tried launching one in 2005. It ended up in something called the Barents Sea, which is part of the Arctic. We launched it and it worked. And we want to launch another one, LightSail 2, came up with that ourselves. And we're going to go to a higher orbit, and we're going to get
How high? How are we talking? How high are we talking here?
Hoping 750 kilometers, 400-something miles back in
Okay, so higher than the space station.
Oh, yeah, higher than the space station.
Okay, now what's going on here? Tell me about the March for Science that happened this past weekend.
March for
Want to give me that back?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So what were you marching for, and why do we need to march for science at this point?
Well, isn't that a good question? So in the U.S.
I'm full of them.
In the U.S. Now, from time to time, I get the sense, I watch the monologue.
Yes.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
From time to time, I get the impression you're critical of the current administration.
I'm in a questioning position of their priorities.
Yes, so in the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, it says, shall promote the progress of science and useful arts. And if you have an administration that is in denial about the effects of climate change, if you have people who want to cut back the funding for the National Institutes of Health and the Centers for Disease Control, that is probably not in anyone's best interest. And yet there's this movement right now, especially in the US, and so we had a march for science. But it's really a surprising thing that somebody felt that we needed that.
Well, here's something else that you feel the world needs. You got a new Netflix series called Bill Nye Saves the World.
Yes.
Okay? That is a much bolder claim than merely science guy. How are you going to save the world, Bill Nye?
Well, it's a half hour. The idea is we take a scientific perspective of issues in society.
Like what? Give me an example.
Climate change.
Climate change, okay.
Vaccines, vaccinations.
Sure, I'm in favor.
And then also we did a show on artificial intelligence. We address these issues from a scientific standpoint because, first of all, people have a great interest in it. People love science. And then, these are important issues because everybody, when I was at the World's Fair here in 1965, there were fewer than 3 billion people in the world. Now there's 7.3, almost 7.4 billion people. There are going to be 9 and 10 billion people, and those people are going to want to eat and have clean water and access to worldwide electronic information. And in order to have any of those things, you've got to have science. And so...
well, good luck saving the world, Bill Nye.
With your help, it'll be a piece of cake. Thanks for having me. It's been big fun.
Bill Nye Saves the World is on Netflix right now. Watch another one. Bill Nye, everybody. We'll be right back with a performance